Right, so those in authorities are, of course, calling for restraint. But then let's hear from those behind the planned protest scheduled to commence from August 1, 2024. Joining us now is one of the mobilizers of the End Governance nationwide protest, as I said, due to commence August 1. Omole Ibikun Olua is joining us live in the studio. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much. It's good to...
All right, you heard from the Minister of Information there. He's saying that there is no justification for the planned nationwide protest because the government is already addressing most of the demands, being made by the protesters. What do you make of that submission?
Thank you very much. I think the efforts of the government has been to turn the minds of Nigerians. They bombarded our parents with WhatsApp DMs, WhatsApp broadcasts to convince them to tell their children not to protest. They have gone on an offensive, a propaganda offensive, to confuse Nigerians and make Nigerians feel like their demands for the end of the hardship in the country is actually not valid. And the attempt to paint this government as a listening government is actually an attempt that is dead on arrival. Because, for example, one of the things they said they've done to appease the protesters is to say that they've allowed Dangote to start buying fuel in Naira. And I think we must be clear about that. That if anybody thinks that we young people are putting our lives on the line because of Dangote's next monopoly, then they must not be very serious to think that we are putting our lives on the line because of that. We are asking our government to not, because this gives you a glimpse into the thinking of the government. The thinking of the government is that, because that's what their cronies tell them, that, oh, those boys are being sponsored by those who your policies have affected, those you've stolen some loot from, because both the Tinubu and the Dangote are both looting Nigeria. We have to be clear about that. Dangote claims to be a businessman, but he's looting Nigeria.
Can you substantiate?
Destroys the environment. An environment in Benue State is being destroyed by Dangote.
We will not allow you make those weighty allegations.
Let's move. They're all in the news. Let's move from that.
Right.
But then the Tinubu government has also repeated the same thing. So we can't choose between two thieves. What we are saying as Nigerians is that we don't care whatever division is going on between the political elite in Nigeria. We care about our realities as Nigerians. And part of our reality is that the fuel price that Tinubu came in May 29, 2023 and said that subsidy is gone, and it tripled immediately. We are asking that it should go back. One of our demands is that that fuel price should go back to pre-May 29, 2023 price. And the reason why we are asking for that is not unreasonable. It is that logic demands that if you have a leaking roof and your bed is under that leaking roof, you will first put a plastic under that leaking roof before you ask your plumbers come and repair that leaking roof. So the short-term solution, I think the short-term solution of subsidy should not be removed until we have gone to our public refineries, made them, put them in fully operational. If they are fully operational, then you can think of removing subsidy because it would affect the price of fuel by then.
Omole, if I will come in here, you made some demands. And then the president is going around, trying to make sure these demands are met. Isn't it only fair that you give him some time for these measures to take effect?
Thank you very much. I think this is the blackmail that the government intends to put out by moving around. Genuinely, the Tinubu government is not in the direction of actually listening to our demands. I will explain that. One of our demands is to put politicians on minimum. We used to ask for the reduction in the cost of governance. Now we are asking that since you are saying Nigerian workers who are suffering to go to work every day deserve 70,000 naira as their minimum wage, we are saying we should put the politicians on minimum wage too. Because if you can survive on 70,000 naira, we'll see together. So our demands are reasonable and they are not moving in the direction of answering our demands at all. What they have done is just a facelift to appease whoever they think is their opposition within the political elites and expect that whoever that opposition is will end the suffering on the
administration have argued that some of these problems were inherited, and of course the Tinubu administration is just 13 months in office. As Ogum asked earlier, shouldn't these protesters give the administration more time to address the problem. Efforts also, according to them, have been made to address food insecurity, the distribution of fertilizers, distribution of trucks of rice, to every state of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. Are these measures not enough, to assuage the protesters, from hitting the streets?
Genuinely, the political elite presents Nigerians as unreasonable people. And we really need to address that condescending attitude. If truly these bags of rice are getting to the people, will they go out to protest? No. The problem we have presently is that there is a system that does eye service and uses that eye service to claim that it has done something. And presently, the Tinubu government is presently supposed to be in the direction of reducing the fuel price back to pre-May 2023 price, and then call everybody to sit down together. Now, how do we address the fuel problem?
But you seems like this protest go on. But aren't you worried that this protest can be hijacked by hoodlums?
Genuinely,
you saw what
should not
happened
be the
during
worry
NSAS.
of protesters. And the question of NSAS, we keep talking about NSAS. There have been many protests in Nigeria that were not hijacked. Because the APC genetic of Tinubu that inherited, the genetics of APC that inherited from Buhari, the genetics of dictatorship. Because they are trying to claim as if it's a new administration. It's the same APC administration. Tinubu was fully behind Buhari during NSAS. So the fact that the Buhari government, and we have it on record, DSS vans dropping off hoodlums. Why should the security of protesters be our fault? It's the responsibility of the government. The government's responsibility is to protect and secure the masses, even if they are protesters.
Thank you very much. So is the protest going on August 1st, yes or no?
The protest is going on. The only thing that can stop the protest is if all of the demands that Nigerians have put out are met.
All right, thank you so much, Omole Ibukunla, mobilizer and bad governance plan nationwide process. Thank you so much for your contribution on the News Hour.
Thank you very much.